II. And so North American Aviation was asked by the British Purchasing Commission to build P-40 Warhawks under license. And what that meant was that North American Aviation would take the plans, the tooling, and set up a production line of P-40 Warhawks in one of their own facilities. Well, the president of North American Aviation, Dutch Kindleberger, didn't want to build somebody else's aircraft. And he told the British Purchasing Commission, "You let me do that. I'll come up in 120 days with a brand new airplane." He was going to pull a rabbit out of a hat. That was an incredibly bold statement for Dutch Kindleberger to make. But he made that statement, and 117 days later, the Mustang was born. With an Allison engine, just like the P-40 Warhawk, the Mustang 1 didn't quite have the high altitude performance that was necessary during the Battle of Britain. And so the Royal Air Force made a modification in that first Allison-powered Mustang. They took a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, the same type that was in their Hawker Hurricanes and Supermarine Spitfires, changed the engine mount, changed the shape of the cowling a little bit, and put that engine on the front of the Mustang 1, and the Mustang as we know it was born. The later models of the Mustang reached speeds, according to one book that I've read, of 487 miles per hour. Amazingly fast. Well, I want you to keep your eyes up and to the left, because I believe in a moment we'll see Vlado Lenoch coming in with that P-51 Mustang to do a little bit of aerobatic demonstration for you. Then he'll go out on the perch and be ready for the Air Force Heritage Flight that Bo Brewer will tell you about in just a little while. Okay, we're looking for him. He's somewhere around. Hopefully he'll be diving in to do his demonstration for us. In all, about 15,000 Mustangs were built. About 160 remain flyable today. That's about 1% of the original production run of that Cadillac of the sky. We're looking high and to the left to see him. A couple of the guys have him. I don't yet have him in sight, but we should see it and hear it. I'm not going to put... I got him now. Diving in from the left. We've heard the radial engines on the Texans. We've heard the radial engine on the Curtiss Helldiver that Mark Allen is taxiing back right now and folding up the wings just like he would on an aircraft carrier. But listen to the sound of that Merlin V12 liquid-cooled engine on the Mustang. The Mustang became one of the little friends, escorting the big bombers all the way to their targets and back. Once they had the addition of a disposable papier-mâché type drop tank, extending the range for the fighters to be able to stave off the Luftwaffe Bf-109s and Focke-Wulf W-190s, both on the trip of the bombers to the target and the trip of the bombers back home from the target, greatly increasing the survivability of those bombers. The Mustang was a great performer in every area, and one of the reasons that Dutch Kindleberger, the president of North American Aviation, could make a statement that he could design a new airplane in 120 days is because he had information on a new wing design. And that wing design was called laminar flow. A very fast wing, different from any other type of wing that had been put on a fighter jet. I should say a fighter airplane, not a jet, a fighter airplane. And it really helped the Mustang to reach speeds that other aircraft couldn't reach. Vlado Lenoch from Chicago, Illinois in the Mustang coming from the right. This Rolls-Royce designed Merlin engine, when it got put on the Mustang and manufactured in America, most of the engines became Packard-built Rolls-Royce Merlin engines. They are liquid-cooled engines. They've got a radiator, and the radiator scoop, rather than being right on the front, is underneath the fuselage, back actually behind the pilot a little ways. Initially, there were some turbulence issues in the design, and so there was a gutter or a space built in between the top of the radiator scoop and the bottom of the fuselage to smooth the air going in for cooling. It was also thought that this radiator would cause drag and slow the airplane down. But the air going in the radiator and then being heated and coming out the back that heated air going out the back actually gave the aircraft a few extra knots of airspeed because of jet thrust. That was known as Meredith effect. By the way, as you saw Vlado Lenoch do that 4-point hesitation roll, you may have noticed the stripes that were painted on the aircraft. Those stripes were painted on all Allied airplanes in preparation for the June 6, 1944 invasion of Normandy, known as D-Day, when German-occupied France was attacked. And those stripes were painted on there so Allied gunners on the ground and other Allied fighter aircraft wouldn't shoot down our own aircraft. That was one of the original identification friend or foe techniques. Now that's all done electronically, IFF. You can see the stripes, you can hear the sound. Would you join me in a big round of applause for Vlado Lenoch? You'll hear more from him and see more from him a little bit later as we talk about the Heritage Flight. The Air Force Heritage Flight Foundation was formed in 2010 with the charitable mission of providing these Heritage Flight performances for the public. You'll see one of those Heritage Flights performed this afternoon. If you're interested in learning more about the Heritage Flight organization and participating in keeping these Heritage Flights going, you can go to airforceheritageflight.org. Now, here comes another pass from Vlado. Watch the nose to come up. And he does the barrel roll. He'll change heading using the aileron, elevator, rudder, and throttle, rolling around that imaginary point in the sky, and come out on the same heading, at the same airspeed, and the same altitude that he started. That's a very challenging maneuver to do.
Hopefully he comes back up, yes? There we go.
And I think we might get a photo pass from him if he swings around. I think he's going to... Is he going to the perch? Yeah, well, let's see. He's done? All right, he's going to the perch. We'll get a chance to see more of Vlado later. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to turn things over to my buddy Bo Brewer from the